The actor Heath Ledger was found dead today in an apartment here in New York City. He was just 28 years old. The Australian-born actor came to huge prominence after his powerful performance in the film Brokeback Mountain. It gained him an Academy Award nomination. Our own Ann Thompson is covering for us here in Manhattan tonight. Ann, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. New York police say they are looking at the possibility of an overdose in connection with Heath Ledger's death. His body was found this afternoon in that white building behind me by a housekeeper. Police sources tell our local affiliate WNBC that the housekeeper discovered Heath Ledger's naked body in a bedroom around 3:30 this afternoon. There were pills apparently strewn about the body, and there were 2 bottles, one for prescription drugs, one for non-prescription drugs. Ledger was best known for his role in Brokeback Mountain, and then this summer he is scheduled to star as the Joker in a Batman sequel. Heath Ledger has a 2-year-old daughter with the actress Michelle Williams. They were separated at the time of his death. An autopsy will be conducted tomorrow. He was asked how having a child changed his life.
Child, I guess, and I think you also look at death differently. Like it's like a catch-22. Like I feel good about dying now because I feel like I'm alive in her, you know. But at the same hand, you don't want to die because you want to be around for the rest of her life. It's kind of like a interesting kind of little setup.
But at the same time, you know, you have to think about, you have to be here long enough to make sure she gets on her feet and discovers how the journey is supposed to go for her.
She's already doing that.
Dr. Drew Pinsky, addiction specialist, who is with us on the phone. Dr. Drew, when you hear that description that we got from Tom O'Neill of what Heath Ledger was like just a few weeks ago when he interviewed him, what does that tell you?
Right. It tells us something we've been speculating, which is that there seems to be some psychiatric issues here. And whether or not he is disheveled because he is depressed and not taking care of himself, or because he's manic, which is really how he was just described. And you should be aware that most bipolar patients, when they kill themselves, is in their manic phase. Or finally, is he merely an addict in his disease? He already said he was using a highly addictive drug called Ambien. And you have to really wonder, I mean, the more I hear, the more you kind of wonder if there is a substance sort of subtext here going on. But believe me, it's not over-the-counter sleeping pills, and it's where there's smoke, there's fire. There's got to be an explanation for this. People don't just kill themselves out of the blue.
Jack. How's it going, Jack? Going great. You're looking good. Looking good. Now you can have a smoke, Jack.
Jack, say hi. Jack, to your left. Jack, any comments on Heath Ledger's death?
Heath Ledger, the actor, he died in New York.
Overdose. He died in New York. Just found him dead a couple hours ago.
I warned him.
Listen, Jack.
Read some now. Okay. You are a vicious bastard, retaliate. I'm glad you're dead. I'm glad you're dead. I thought my jokes were bad.
For the past 20 years, my wife Evie and I have been the victims of criminal activities perpetrated by a small network of individuals who are out to destroy us personally, professionally, and financially. This network of individuals is manipulating the banking system and the criminal justice system for the purposes of sabotaging our credit and our credibility. Up until a year ago, Evie and I had never had any run-in with the law whatsoever. We are not criminals, nor are we fugitives from justice, nor are we crazy. We are simply artists and filmmakers who are being racketeered on. We believe there are to be a malignant tumor of star whackers in Hollywood. How many people do you know personally who have died suddenly and mysteriously in the past 5 years? I have personally known 8 actors, all of whom I have worked with and was close to. Heath Ledger, Chris Penn, David Carradine among them. I believe these actors were whacked, and I believe that many others, such as Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, and Mel Gibson, are being played to get at their money. In the meantime, many a celebrity's image and marketability is being co-opted and destroyed. Google helps out by keeping the negative stories near the top of a celebrity's webpage because it's the negativity that brings in the advertising revenue.
Crowds of onlookers soon gathered outside his Soho apartment in New York, where his body was found. According to police, the 28-year-old actor was discovered naked in his bed with sleeping pills nearby, although exactly what killed him is still unknown. In Australia, his father, Kim Ledger, made this statement.
We would like to thank our friends and everyone around the world for their well wishes and kind thoughts at this time. Heath has touched so many people on so many different levels during his short life, but few had the pleasure of truly knowing him. He was a down-to-earth, generous, kind-hearted, life-loving, unselfish individual who was extremely inspirational to many. Please now respect our family's need to grieve and come to terms with our loss privately. Thank you.
It's reported Ledger had an appointment for a massage. He was found by a housekeeper who'd gone to tell him the massage therapist had arrived. His body has now been taken. An autopsy is planned for later.
I can't believe it. He was so young and so vibrant. It's just such a loss.
He was energetic. He was full of life.
What was on the character well?
He was so genuine in all of his work. I don't know what to say. I can't believe he's dead.
Born in Perth, Australia, Ledger began his acting career at the age of 10. After several roles in soaps, he went on to star in the US teen comedy 10 Things I Hate About You. His big Hollywood break came when he acted alongside Mel Gibson in The Patriot. But it was Brokeback Mountain that really made the critics sit up and take notice. Ledger's portrayal of a gay cowboy won him an Oscar nomination. It was on the set of the Ang Lee movie that he met his former girlfriend Michelle Williams. The pair split last year, but had a daughter together, Matilda.
It ain't gonna be that way.
This morning, tributes are being made. Actress Nicole Kidman's describing the film star's death as a terrible tragedy. And the Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd says the country's lost one of its finest actors in the prime of his life.